I can barely hear you, Art.
You can barely hear me.
There you are. I can hear you now. I don't know what you just did, but
I'm not sure I did anything.
yeah, something happened.
So I take it we are 100% virtual tonight.
Yes. As far as I know, that is what we are doing.
I saw the notice that Hamilton County was in a state of emergency. I assume that probably shut down the library. Is that correct?
I don't know. I'm not feeling real well. I have 100-degree fever right now. So so I said to Jim that I was going to stay home, and Jim said, "Do you think we just need to go virtual?" And I said, "That's probably a good idea." So here we are.
Hey guys.
So is the Midpoint Library shut down?
I don't know. Leroy was shut down. That was enough for me.
Okay. Well, you take care of yourself, Leroy.
Yeah, we may cut this a little short today.
Okay.
You got meds? You got meds?
Yes, I've been taking Dayquil because that's all we could find, because the medicines were gone. I've got my ibuprofen and I've got cough drops, but I have been taking stuff. My fever is hanging around somewhere between 99 degrees and 101.
Yeah, well, you need to keep an eye on that. That's
and I'm drinking a lot of water, so
okay.
But Patty didn't want me to do the meeting at all today, so she may come in here and just if that happens.
Again? Oh no.
If we see you disappear, we'll know what happened.
We'll know what happened.
The last time got a little bloody, just saying.
But yeah, I'm not. We tried. We're going to try to go to that church that you said, Jim, tomorrow.
Yeah.
And get the test, but I'm not so sure. I don't have all the symptoms. I have a sore throat and a high fever. So I'm not so sure that I've got it. I feel more like it's the flu, but.
Well, are you achy?
See, that's hard to say because I've been achy for the past year and a half. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, don't know what to tell you.
I still have some taste. I can still taste stuff, but my nose is stopped up, so I can't tell if that's affecting my taste or not.
Well, usually when your nose gets stopped up, that hamper your taste a little bit. But my understanding with COVID is that when you lose your sense of taste, I mean, it's gone. You can swallow jalapeno peppers and it's gone.
Yeah, I have not experienced that. I mean, I still can taste some stuff. My soup yesterday didn't have any taste to it, but
does it normally?
Normally, yeah, it normally has like a little bit of chicken broth kind of taste to it, but
my case was the taste was off. Everything tasted bad.
Okay.
So you had taste, but it was just skewed somehow or another.
Oh, yeah.
Like stuff tasted like copper or something.
Yeah, it tasted really weird.
But yeah, I don't. So I mean, it's hard to say, but if we go and get the test, everybody's going to be happy. And so,
Like I was saying, Gail was saying that several of the people in the group have been ill, but they tested negative.
right.
So they've been some stuff floating around that wasn't COVID.
Yeah.
Well, this time of year, it's easy to have a sinus infection or something like that too. I mean, you know, the temperatures, at least here, and I assume there as well, have been going up
Mhm.
to 60s some days, and the next day it's down in the teens. So I don't know, but when I lived in Ohio, that was always bad news for me. That would always generate some kind of sinus problem.
Yeah. Yeah. That, um, and that's what I'm thinking is I've just got like a regular common flu, but you never know anymore because there's just
It's
so much stuff going
best to get
around.
tested. Best to get tested.
So
So you didn't have any test kits at home or anything like that?
no, no.
Mm. About a month ago, when I figured out that there was going to be a shortage, we loaded them in, so we now have 6 test kits. And my daughter went through a exposure, but tested negative both with the fast kit and with the PCR. But one of her close associates at work, boyfriend, live-in boyfriend, got it. And so she figured she was secondary exposure. Well, a few days later, and they have to announce this. They have to tell you where she works. The company has to tell you if anybody's been exposed. So,
What was that?
what was that?
What was that?
That was the wrong screen. Y'all didn't
Okay.
look, did you?
So at any rate, fortunately she tested negative, although she was required by the company to quarantine for, I think, 5 days, something like that.
Yeah.
But they're now completely off site. They're 100% working from home now. So
Patty's staying home for the next 5 days because she hasn't felt real well either. So
that's fine. If I had a microscope here, I would just jump on those numbers right away. Let's see. What is the black line is deaths?
Yeah,
And that's
that's
for
Ohio.
what?
Ohio.
Ohio.
Yeah, this is Johns Hopkins. This is the only thing that means anything. That's why I did a death chart for the big COVID. And this shows deaths for just Ohio. And looks like around January 1st, we peaked at 208 deaths. That's not a tremendous number. So we've been rocking along.
Unless
Yeah,
it happens to
that's
be
last
you,
January.
then it's a tremendous number.
Yeah. And now it looks like we had a big drop toward the end of the year, and we picked up a couple. 398 and 363. That's pretty decent. But that's what the death rate's looking like.
That's per day?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a floating, I think that's okay, it's showing a cumulative.
The lower one's cumulative. So what's the upper one?
Yeah, the upper one is a per day.
Okay. So that's not rolling per day. That's on that particular day.
Yeah, right. It's not the moving average. These guys didn't do the moving average. I used to do that for you guys. Yeah, you were so lucky. Let's see. Let me look at the next. There is no next. Okay. We can look at confirmed cases if you want to be scary. Yeah, 20,000 confirmed cases. Yeah,
This is state of Ohio?
yeah.
Hmm.
37,000, 19,000. So we did have a peak there. Of course, that could be a weekend when we saw all this before. The daily.
Well, there's always reporting anomalies around weekends anyway, because they don't get them instantaneously reported, apparently.
Oh yeah, and politics affects it. I hated doing that. It was just obvious that there were games being played. But these look pretty serious here. This is a pretty good chart. I'm impressed so far.
Now, this is Johns Hopkins.
Yeah. I put a link to it in the meeting announcement. You'll have to refresh, find the live meeting announcement, and you'll see a link to, and it has the United States, it has everything. Let's look at the California. Act like we care about California.
But this is total, this isn't per capita.
This is the state of California.
But it's total. It does
Total,
not
yeah.
adjust for population size.
No, these are just raw numbers.
Yep.
Oh, these are cases. Let's look at deaths. Oh, yeah. '23. These are relatively low. Looks like Ohio's got a little peak going on right now.
That's what the wine keeps saying.
What happened with, do you have any per county? Because Hamilton County apparently has gotten particularly hammered. I don't know why, but
Yeah, I noticed that it has a map. See the US map there?
yeah.
I noticed that Hamilton County was particularly darker. See if we can take a little sec. This is good. This is coming from our Chatterbox news that Bill O'Reilly pointed me at. I subscribed. It's $27 per year. It's national news, but it had the link to this Johns Hopkins, so I'm kind of impressed.
I'll tell you something, Jim, he doesn't need the money. Okay.
Oh no, yeah, nah. But you know, he's selfless, you know him. He's just doing it for the friends. Okay, let me try this again.
You zoomed too far out.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
probably.
Well, how do I zoom back in?
Down there, there's a minus sign.
Oh,
Try that.
well, this is just like the rest of the club meetings. It's just ignoring the hell out of me for some reason. This standard club meeting, even the dang screen's ignoring me, man.
Yeah, you may have messed it up.
Okay, I'm gonna go to global map and I'll come back. How about that?
That sounds good.
But this looks like a heck of a website. Yeah, Johns Hopkins. I'm pro Johnny. That looks like it's nailing the East Coast pretty good. Okay, now I'll try the US again.
Don't go in too fast. Just go in a little slow, and then you can pull the map back over to where you need it.
Yeah. So darker is worse or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the Midwest is getting fairly well hammered there, I would say.
So the darker, and this is probably Hamilton. No, there's Hamilton right there. Looks like it's west of Hamilton that's worse.
That looks like it's over in Indiana.
Yeah.
Madison, north of Madison. Okay, here we go. It could be the way it's proportioned.
Well, what
Yes.
what I saw on the news was that the problem in Hamilton County was the percentage of free beds in the hospital had dropped to an alarming low. So the problem would not be just the number of cases, it would be the number of cases relative to the number of available beds.
Okay, inpatient occupancy. Ask and you shall receive. Oh, well, maybe. See if we can get over here.
There's Cincinnati to your left there. Yeah, there you go. Wow. What's that dark area there?
That's Kentucky. Boone County,
Boy,
right?
Yeah.
That's Kentucky, right?
they're getting slammed.
Okay, there's Hamilton.
So that's
What's Columbus look like?
What is what?
Columbus, Central Ohio.
it's about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lancaster looks like it's taken, but of course it's occupancy, so that's probably a percentage of available beds or something.
Yeah, so if you're in an area where you got a lot of beds, then it's not as bad as you're in an area where very few places. In some of these rural areas, I mean, they have very, very limited hospital facilities.
How about new cases by population?
That's so that normalized by per
capita.
Per capita, yeah.
See, now this thing, you got to admit, these guys got their ducks aligned here.
So that's probably the one you saw there, Art, where Cincinnati is.
Well,
worst case.
It was Hamilton County. It wasn't specifically Cincinnati.
Oh, that's since Cincinnati's the big portion of Hamilton County. So.
Oh yeah, there's Hamilton, and then there's Hamilton County.
Well, is Hamilton a city?
Yeah.
Yes. That's why we're confused. So yeah. So there's Hamilton.
Really? I didn't realize that. I knew about Hamilton County because every time I drive up the freeway, we cross the line there.
Hamilton, the city, is the county seat for Butler County. It's very confusing.
So where is Hamilton, the city, then?
It is south of Middletown.
Is it north of?
It's north of Cincinnati.
Is it north of what?
I want to say it's more like parallel or lateral to Westchester.
You go out west on 129, take you right to Hamilton.
So that's just a burg. That's just a little city kind of thing, like Middletown.
It's a smaller city, yeah.
Well, Hamilton's one of the larger cities in Butler County.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a full-size city. It's bigger than Middletown.
Westchester, let's see, Hamilton and Westchester, and then Middletown. Middletown's like the third largest city in.
Oh, there it is up there.
Yeah. So
that's in Butler County, though.
It's west of Hamilton.
So Hamilton
That's-
is not
that's
in Hamilton
expected.
County, it's in Butler County. Okay,
Correct. Hamilton, the city is Butler County seed.
okay.
It's it, and depending upon which map you look at, it's either Hamilton or Westchester are the two largest cities in Butler County. And then Middletown would be the third. Middletown's always come in third.
So
Now I'm looking at deaths. Okay,
But when you talk about Hamilton County, mostly that's Cincinnati. Cincinnati is the largest, one of the largest areas in Hamilton County. And Hamilton County has a lot of tiny towns right around Cincinnati.
well, we're in Claremont,
Right.
and that is, I think, straight west of Hamilton County. I think if we, or no, straight east of Hamilton County. If we go west from here, we hit Hamilton County. Deerfield, okay, Deerfield's up, yeah, that's where my wife goes to Costco.
okay.
There's one in Sharonville and one in Deerfield.
There's Sharonville.
Sharonville is just south of 275.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of south of Westchester also. I think the micro center is actually in Sharonville. It's not in Westchester, I believe.
You are probably correct. That is,
Because I know when we come up to the micro center, we come around 275 counterclockwise, and we get off one exit before the 75 north exit. And it's
Mosteller
Yeah.
Road.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, basically, you could throw a rock from 275 through a window in Micro Center.
Yep.
I was over at Micro Center getting my 128 gig SD card the other day, or USB card. There was a big line there. I figured they were there for the USB. But no, they were there for the graphics cards lined up.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was it? One to a customer or something like that?
I don't know what the deal. Every time I go over there to get a free SD card, there's a line there for graphics cards. And they say they're hard to get. Okay.
They're using them for bit mining.
Well, the other thing is the microchip shortage is really hitting a lot of areas, and that the graphics card is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the Midwest is taking a beating up there with deaths. Up in there and over in here. Dang.
Yeah, that's up in the Dakotas and Montana.
Wow. Deaths
And
by
then-
population. Oh, okay, that's what the deal is. Looks like Georgia's got some issues.
Florida definitely does.
Looks like it's following the Mississippi. Florida, I don't know what's going on with Florida.
Well, I mean, basically,
Yeah.
they're not allowed to do any mitigation there, and so people are getting sick.
Well, they're not numbers. It looks like. Well, let's see, confirmed cases by county. Let's see.
That's
Okay, so yeah. Trends across the US. All states. Where is the legend? Oh, here we go. Here are the numbers. Count increase. Yeah. Where'd Florida go?
It would be
Florida,
up under F, I would think.
518. Looks like they're
Just a minute.
crazy.
Yeah. Okay, would you close the door, please?
134,000 for us. 1.71%. $750,000 for California. So 64% increase. Florida is 100% increase. Okay, let's see what we got.
Okay.
Okay, I had enough.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, the numbers start coming out your ears.
Okay.
So any new camera action there, Jim?
I've been tinkering with I found some options, wide dynamic range options, and I've tried them before, and it's really good. At night, the night pictures are much better. You can, they're quicker, but during the day, it's too bright. So I have to reduce the range down, reduce the value down a little bit.
So you have to do that manually. You can't somehow or another set up like a AVC kind of a thing where you,
Yeah, you got wide dynamic range, it's on and off, and there's also an adjustment on it. So it's kind of automatic.
okay.
But I've had to back off a little bit on the brightness to get good colors during the day. But right now I'm compromising to see. But yeah, I found some adjustments. The Rio Link stuff seems to have some pretty good adjustments. It's got a backlight option, several things under backlighting, which I have a problem with because I'm looking south. And shutter adjustment and that sort of stuff. It looks pretty good. And my other cameras have got a lot of adjustments on it. But what I'm finding is I need a high resolution camera, and I'm seeing them out there. Oh yes, there are some, 36 megapixel cameras with, and also I need a zoom lens. And there are some zoom lenses out there, but they want money for those. A fixed zoom would be easier for me. A fixed zoom, and also I see with the fixed zooms, I also at the same time I see those cameras, I see a very fast frame rate, like 100. So what they're doing is they're very fast cameras and they have telephoto lenses on it. I see 24, 40 power lenses, but the frame rates are way up there. I guess you get that fast speed, you need the telephoto lens, you need the fast frame rate. So,
Now, where do you have these mounted? Are these mounted outside?
yeah, they're mounted on the front porch.
Oh, so you can get good quality pictures for the people stealing stuff off your porch,
Yeah,
right?
you want to be where the action is.
Well, I always like your bird feeder cameras. I thought those were great.
Yeah, those are some good ones. Yeah. Yeah. And the hummingbirds, I have those every year. I love the hummingbirds.
Yeah, I don't know where they go in the wintertime. They go south?
Yeah. Yeah, they're out of here. They're gone. Probably October, September, October. They love August, and July and August is their peak.
Well, everything's in bloom at that point, so they've got lots to eat.
Yeah.
Thing I find interesting is even in the wintertime, we have a lot of robins around here. I always thought the robins went south in the wintertime, but we seem to have a fair number of robins around here, even in December and January. So
Yeah, some of them don't go. Yeah. Yeah, you'll see them head south, and there'll be some hanging around that hang around. If they have enough food, they'll stay up here.
well, we've also got a nice sized raptor in our neighborhood here who's looks well fed. Let me put it that way.
A raptor?
A hawk.
Oh, yeah.
Hawks, eagles, all of those are called raptors.
A velociraptors?
Like the
Something.
ancestors.
That's out of Jurassic Park stuff. Velociraptors.
But these guys, it's interesting. You watch them work. They'll sit on the fence for a while, and all of a sudden they'll take off like a bat out of hell and fly real low over the grass, like they're looking for a rabbit or something like that.
Scoop it up.
They'll
Yep.
scoop it right up.
Yeah, I've seen several in the last couple of years with snakes.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They'll nail a snake off the ground?
Yeah, I assume so. I see them with a little snake, be a little snake, couple of foot long, and be carrying it home to the kids. It makes me happy. More snakes, the happier I am.
Do you have a lot of snakes in your area?
Oh yeah, we don't. The good news is they're not poisonous snakes. The bad news is I don't care. It doesn't make any difference to me.
The other thing I saw the other night, I happened to be up about 4 o'clock in the morning, I guess it was. Looked out the front to see if there was any snow. There wasn't, but there was a good sized buck running across my neighbor's yard across the street. I thought initially somebody was walking along the sidewalk, and then when the thing got out where it was kind of behind a tree, and then got out where I could see it. It was a nice sized buck. It had, well, I don't know, 6-8 points, something like that. And he was just moseying along there. But we have a lot of deer in our area down here.
Oh yeah, we do too. I saw 3 yesterday across on the other side of the road in the cow pasture. And I saw one standing in the front yard last week in the driveway. He had We got woods though.
Yeah, when they built our development up here, they eliminated all the woods. Basically, they just bulldozed it, out. And then they took all the topsoil. And then, get this, they come back and sell you the topsoil if you want some on your land. So I mean, talk about a scam.
Yeah. What a deal.
Yeah. Well, we got a bunch more construction going on in our development here. The 7th section is under construction. And they're selling them as fast as they can build them.
Well, Jim's already seen this video, but you remember this little SDR?
Yeah.
So Jim got a nice size dummy load, 25-watt dummy load. And I tried the crappy mic. And let's see if we can share this. See if the sound actually works. Desktop.
Can you share sound?
It must be a new feature because can you hear it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No question. Oh yeah, that's pretty good actually.
When we first said, I don't think it sounded real well.
Well, when I hear the sound from the SDR,
Yeah,
your sound goes away. And then when your sound comes on, the SDR blocks out.
it seems like it's off frequency a bit, but
yeah, that says 3.69. That's kind of the long end of 80 meters.
yeah.
He's on a dummy load, so it doesn't matter. That sounds pretty good to me. And to put a single sideband transceiver or receiver on the same frequency as the transmitter and expect it to sound normal, that's abnormal.
Yeah.
We got that one. And
it's 40. Okay.
40 meter.
That's not bad.
Yeah, just a little off frequency, adjust the receiver off a little bit. It'd be normal.
Well, I'm thinking because the SDR doesn't really have a clarifier. I think if we had a clarifier, it might actually.
What app are you using there, Leroy?
That is SDR Arduino or SDR Uno or something. That was. It actually starts to sound pretty good, but it's. It's quite a bit off frequency.
Is that running on,
Do what? Do what?
what operating system were you running that SDR on?
That was it's on Windows.
Oh, okay.
There we go. It finally let me stop sharing.
Yeah,
But-
it won't run on some other stuff. It only runs on Windows.
This where is my SDR? I was using this pan adapter,
Uh-huh.
and that only work. That'll go down into HF stuff, but it only works on. I can only get it to work on a Windows machine. So, and it only works with its own software. It won't work with anything else.
Really?
Yeah,
Most of them will work with
almost anything. Yes.
a whole slew of them.
Yes, this will only work with its own software, and it's a Windows only machine. But I guess I can live with that because it's an HF receiver, because it goes clear down. What is that? 160
Oh,
meter?
really?
Yeah, it goes pretty far. Now I haven't heard anything on 160, but it's supposed to go down that far. So. And it will go clear up to 1.7 gigahertz, I think.
Yeah.
So it's got a huge range. So I guess I can put up with Windows for a short period of time that I actually use it. But yeah, we did some testing of it. It seems like it's a bit off frequency, but once you get it kind of locked in, I guess it's all right. I think the problem would be is if somebody found me on 7149 and transmitted back, they would be off frequency when I heard them on 150.
Yeah.
So I think that might be, but I guess the next step is to get it out and get it up onto the 40-meter antenna that Jim made. See what happens.
Yep, I got it sitting in there.
So the 40-meter antenna is what? Just a dipole or what?
Yeah. Dipole with RG 50.
59 or?
I think it's 50. It's 58 and 59. One of them is 50. One of them is 73. I think 59 is 73 of them.
Yeah.
I forget.
Oh, Ken's there. Or at least he's trying to be here.
Yes, he is.
Sorta.
Sorta.
Kind of dark complected there, Ken.
The lights, the electric bill, trying to keep it down, Oh, man. There we go. And here we go. There we
you are.
go.
Wow. Fantastic. How you doing?
Busy as a cat in a hot tin roof.
Okay. You and Tennessee Williams.
Yes, indeed. They keep me busy. Republic has me, and we call it the phone carrier.
Yes.
But I think,
You're not talking about the trash collector. You're talking about the phone carrier.
yeah, we got one of those too. Republic out there, yes. But yeah, the phone carrier. I was up in St. Paul, Minnesota for Christmas, and I couldn't connect to my data. I could connect to the Wi-Fi, but not to data. So I noticed like the little triangle down in the toolbar up there had an X. So I said, So we left a message, and they sent a message, "We fixed our phone, try it now." So it works.
Hmm.
So,
Who's the carrier up there?
Republic.
Okay.
So I don't think they fixed their system for my phone. I think they had a glitch, okay? And some of the phones weren't working, and mine was one of them.
They're still trying to move everybody over to this dish plan, and it's a huge mess. They've just made a mess of everything they're trying to do.
So what's this dish plan?
They so Dish Network bought them, and they're moving everybody from a T-Mobile to AT&T. You can still stay on the current plans if you want, but supposedly you'd save money if you could switch to one of their new plans. But if you do that, you can't go back. And if you it's kind of a mess. You can't. A bunch of people who have tried to switch to the cheaper plan and have failed and messed their phones up, apparently. Anyway, I just said the heck with all that, and me and Patty, we ordered some Mint Mobile SIMs.
Well, I'm kind of disappointed. I thought you'd get some Verizon phones.
No. No, I mean, we just bought these phones like in 2020. They're not old phones.
Well,
And
hear me out here. I went to Verizon over here in Mason, where I live,
mhm.
and I walked in and I said, "Listen, I have a family member in St. Paul, a family member in Cincinnati, being me. I've got a family member in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a family member in Fort Myers. I'd like to have a family plan of 4 phones, and I would like to keep my phone. Is this possible?" They said, "Yeah, we need the number off the phone, but you can keep your phones." I said, "Well, give me the cheapest, the basic plan. What does that consist of?" He says it consists of all the texting you want, all the data you want, and all the phone lines, all you want. I said, "What's that cost?" He says $35 per phone plus tax. He says, if you do the auto pay, that's $140. If you do the not auto pay, it's $180. So
Really?
so that's a pretty good plan. If you look at all unlimited fax, unlimited phone, unlimited data.
Yeah. If you use a lot of data, that's probably a good plan.
Mm-hmm.
But the Mint Mobile, they've got for $15. You've got 4 gigs of data, unlimited calls and text.
Mm-hmm.
The only drawback to get the $15 a month, you've got to pay for the entire year. So,
well, that's with Republic right now. I've got an annual contract with them for $289.
right.
That's it. Pay it once in January and forget it for the rest of the year. So,
Right. Well,
that's not bad.
Mint Mobile was $189, I believe, for the entire year.
So it's about $90 difference.
Yeah. But
So
they've got a gotcha too, which they don't include the taxes in that price. So when you get to it, you got to pay like $40 additional taxes. So it's
Yeah,
closer to 220, something like that.
so you might as well say 220, but the 198 tax included.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got less than, you say you got about $60, which is $5 difference each month.
Yeah.
So what kind of bandwidth do you get for the data?
5G.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mint says they're all a 5G network too, but your phone has to support it. My phone doesn't support it. So I'll still be on 4G.
Well, Apple 13 has a nice phone out there for a nominal fee, and you can get that. You can get that.
Yeah.
How much is the phone?
I've been told it's $1,400, but that's but I probably could get it a little cheaper because I work for a nonprofit organization.
Beep, 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 beep.
I'll be right back. Okay,
there's a-
Google.
There is a link on your meeting announcement that I'm showing you now. The cheap, this is Clark Howard stuff. He's a consumer advocate.
Okay, Google, quiet.
Thanks, Google.
Hey, Google.
Hey, Google, tell me a joke.
We've gone high tech here.
So yeah, this is linked to a bunch of articles. This is Clark Howard. He does a good job. He's a consumer advocate. Tell you the whole story.
Yep. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Let me do it again. Morning. These are links if you want to see Clark's review, Clark Howard review. And he actually goes through and he tests all of them. He's done like 30 different, he's tested like 30 different phones.
And it's clark.com.
Clark Howard. There's a link on your meeting announcement right up there at the top.
Okay.
And it'll take you to this, and it'll take you to Clark. This is Clark's forte, cheap phones. So he really does a good job. Your cheap hotspot plan, a cheap multi-line phone plan, the cheapest unlimited cell phone plan. So, oh yeah, they're the list. Cheap plans for 2, 3, 4. He's been talking about Tello the last couple of times I looked. Tello has a $10 plan for people who don't use a lot of data.
Well, does any of these plans just have a single standalone phone? Not 2 or 3 together.
Yeah, all of these are single.
All these are single.
Yeah, except where referred. Yeah, these are like Mint Mobile. That's for a single. But it says $30 a month. That's unlimited. Excuse me. Let me go back up. Here's Mint Mobile, $15 a month plus taxes and fees, just like Leroy said.
Yeah.
Here's Boost,
Yeah.
$8.33 a month.
I know.
$100 for 12
Alright.
months. $8.33 a month before taxes and fees. Get unlimited talking each month. 1 gig each month for $8.33 a month. That's what I'm saying. Republic's starting to look bad. Do you see the $8.33 a month? Oh my God. Ain't that cheap.
Yeah.
And Clark has a review on them, but all of these here are ones he's checked out. Mint's been around a couple of years, so they should be pretty stable. Tello is relatively new, but $10 a month is cheap. Dang, $8.33 a month is cheap.
So is Mint with T-Mobile? Or
Yeah.
who are they with?
Yeah. They're a T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
Yeah. Boost has been around forever.
What are these, resellers or what?
Mint is well, yeah, Tello probably is too. Boost is owned by I think Dish Network owns Boost.
And
Yeah.
AT&T owns Dish.
Yeah. I think they've got a 5-year agreement.
They're in cahoots with each other. I don't know if they own each other, but Boost used to be a Sprint company. So I don't know when they changed. But
Well, Sprint's gone completely to T-Mobile now.
yeah.
It looks like the Republic days of dominating our world. It looks like there's new game and there's new sheriff in town.
Well, Target advertises that Cellular One. Okay.
I'm a Cellular One guy.
Okay.
I never get drop calls with taxes. It's $27 a month with limited data. I don't use a ton of data.
But do you use like a long distance on that phone and all that?
Yeah, long distance and texting is all in there.
So
Yeah, the days of long distance is gone.
Yeah.
Like Mint, I think, has 60 countries that are included with their plan.
Yeah, the next generation is going to know what you're talking about when you talk about making a long distance call.
they
And
don't
that,
know
you know,
now.
They're going to have a new area code for Warren and Butler County for new numbers. That's not a big deal either because you load the numbers in. You don't remember numbers anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I belonged to Freedom Pop and then Ting, and then I went to what is that?
Cellular One?
Cellular One or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I
see,
went-
it's being pushed by Target.
Target and ARP.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I
you're getting real plans now for $15 a month. This is getting to be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's pretty unlimited data, you know. I don't use I don't turn my data all the time. I turn it off unless I need it.
Yeah, this is the $15 includes the 4 gig, the Mint deal that Leroy's chasing. He's going to be our guinea pig.
I think Ryan Reynolds is one of the owners of Mint, isn't he?
I don't know.
He does the commercials and he says he's an owner sometimes, I think. The commercials.
Well,
If that's
I know I had a small problem because they didn't ship my order out. It said it was still in whatever. And I called them up and their customer service was fantastic. I mean, it seemed like it was a little funky, but they didn't actually have a customer service rep or an option for the problem I was having, but I just got a human on the line and they took right care of it, and my Sims are supposed to be here today. So yeah.
I may switch to them, but
When they have an actual phone number that you can call, it's probably a decent thing.
Yeah, we didn't know about that. With the Republic, you get their chat line was there, their closest thing you'd get. But their chat line, tend to work. They have somebody there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. My experience with the chat lines is they've got a menu there, and if you don't hit one of their exact questions,
you're
you're SOL, so to speak.
That was my experience with the Mint chat, because I went to the Mint to Mint Mobile's website, and I just went to the chat bot, and the chat bot could not help me, but he kept saying, call this number, we're available. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll call them. And sure enough, I got a real person first try. I wasn't even on hold. It was just like I hit the button, got a real person, told them what the problem was, and they fixed the problem. So
Hey, Leroy, is that Cato in the background?
yes.
Okay. Cato and the Green Hornet.
Yes. And the Black Beauty.
I forgot what the car's name was.
Is the library open tonight?
We don't know.
With all that going on, I don't know if they're open or not.
So you just decided to do this all from remote tonight, huh?
And Leroy kind of felt puny, and I said, what the heck?
Yeah.
Leroy's.
So when you don't show up, do you call the library and say, hey, we're not going to be there?
They've got an automatic link. I just went in and canceled the meeting.
Okay.
I'll let it set up automatically or manually now over the internet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, their software is kind of crude. I ended up scheduling a couple of boardrooms in Middletown. I had to cancel those. And since I canceled them and I went in to re-add them, but the cancellation hadn't been through. So I couldn't re-add them because they were still listed.
Yeah.
So it's one of those deals.
I guess Steve said they're not reserving the room there in Norwood for the CLUG meetings. I guess it's being taken by somebody. So we're going to have to find another home for CLUG.
Really?
Yeah.
Usually Art, don't you get notification from the library if anything's going on?
Yeah.
Usually I do, but I didn't get one for today. That's for sure.
Yeah, I get them too, and I didn't get anything. So
I figured maybe now, is the library in Hamilton or in Butler County?
Butler County.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was in Hamilton County, and so I assume that when they declared a state of emergency for Hamilton County, that shut down the library. But obviously, I was in the wrong church, but wrong pew, so to speak.
You're in the wrong county, but it is close to Hamilton County. So
yeah, very, very close. But I get notices from Hamilton County Library, and they have reduced their hours because of COVID at various branches. The only one I used to go to is on Saturdays when Steve had the meeting there in Norwood.
Yeah. That's because of the lunch across the street.
Yeah. But is it Gordo's or Bruna?
Gordo's.
Gordo's. That's good food.
Lunch or beer?
Well, we usually
Yeah.
got lunch. People didn't usually get a beer, but they have beer there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they have excellent lunches and they have the whole spectrum. Fish, burgers, zillion kind of burgers.
BLT, yeah, they're mainly a burger place, but they do have the whole shooting match.
Yeah. Kind of a cozy little place.
Yep. So Steve said we got to eventually find another place for the sea lug. Once all this stuff shakes out.
You're assuming that it's going to?
I'm an optimist eventually. I don't know when, but I thought it'd be, with all these variants and all this stuff. Eventually, with all these people getting a weaker strain of COVID, they're going to run out of the COVID's going to run out of hosts, aren't they?
Yeah, this may be a good thing. This last route we may get herd immunity out of it.
Yeah, because it's more contagious, but not as lethal. So you're getting it, but you're getting T cells, so you're getting some kind of immunity after you get it, but you're not going to die.
Yeah. Everybody's
except that if you go to a hospital and they're full.
Well, when I got it in November 2020, I got it before a vaccine was available. I got the #1 strain, and it kicked my rear end. Took me 10 weeks to get my full strength back. Not good.
So did you get vaccinated after that?
I've been vaccinated and boosted. Hell yeah. As soon as they told me to get my shot, I was over there at Butler County getting my shot.
Well, in Israel, they're now doing a second booster.
Yeah, they got another booster. My friend Dave, who just got COVID in November, he says, I'm still not going to get vaccinated. He says, do you think I'm stupid? We swim together at the LA. I said, Dave, that's a personal decision. So
a lot of people, they're having a lot of breakthroughs on the booster.
Yeah.
For the Omicron. So it's not preventing breakthroughs. So it looks like everybody's going to get the Omicron. And so,
well, they said with me being getting the original COVID and then getting the shots and the booster, I've got probably pretty good immunity for a while. Hopefully I do.
But if you listen, you can hear anything you want to hear.
That's true.
Crazy.
Yeah, you go to whatever silo you get your information from. You get all different stories from and this day where everyone can have a stage on the digital stage, you don't know what, there's so much out there, you almost get inundated. You don't know what's what sometimes.
So Leroy, the Sims cards that you're going to get, how much did it cost you?
To get the $15 a month deal.
Yeah.
You end up paying, you have to buy 3 months at a time. So it was $45. And then there was the taxes and fees, which, because we bought 2 cards, it was 23 something in fees. So it was $100 and some.
Jeez.
Now they had.
So the Sims card is built into the monthly rate?
No, you have
I
to
think
buy the Sims
I
card.
think technically the SIM card was free, and I just prepaid for the monthly rate.
Oh, okay.
I think
So you don't have a separate charge specifically for the Sims card.
Right. The thing about what I did, they were running a special, so I got 6 months for $45 instead of 3 months for $45.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So
if I remember, my SIM card was maybe $5 or something.
yeah,
It was-
SIM cards are usually cheap. They're between $1 and $5
It
usually.
was a one-time charge though.
So when my 6 months runs out, I have to renew. And to get the $15 again, I would have to pay for an entire year at that point, which would be the 180 plus the taxes.
So they're gonna ask for about $220 up front,
Pretty much.
pretty much.
It seems like a lot, but when you look at what you're actually getting, it's like, okay. And it was cheap. It was cheaper than Republic. And I get 4 gigs of data, which I don't use a whole lot of data in the first place. So 4 gigs seems like, you know,
Quite a lot.
it would be a lot.
What is their signal strength? Because I've used budget people before and I've got a lot of drop calls. And
They're on T-Mobile, so you know they claim it's the same coverage as T-Mobile, so
So it's
Yeah.
coming off the same tower as T-Mobile?
that's what they say.
So
Hmm.
Dish doesn't own Mint?
No, I don't know
Okay.
who owns Mint. Mint probably owns Mint, but I figured for the 100 and whatever dollars it was to get this for 6 months, I could try it. And if I don't like it, I'll find somebody else. And I've got phone service for 6 months that I don't have to worry about. But I hear really good things about Mint Mobile. So I don't think I'm going to have a problem with them.
I thought about, I went with Consumer Cellular, but if you have a good experience, I may move over.
Yeah. Well, I have they're supposed to send me the 2 SIMs and a bonus referral SIM. So if anybody wants the free SIM to try it, I will give it to them because it was a bonus anyway. But I think you get a 7-day trial with that free bonus SIM. So it may be worth doing it for 7 days just to see if you like it or not.
On that cellular one, the 2750, that includes tax, everything out the door?
Hello? That's you. Talk. Kenny, I don't know if he heard you.
I don't know if he did.
I've heard Clark Howard talk about Mint Mobile in good standing as a general rule.
Is that 2750 cellular one, is that out the door?
Yeah, out the door. Everything.
Tax
month.
fees, everything. Okay.
I've got my latest bill here. Let me
There was another company that I was looking at called Mobi, MOBI, that I think they're based out of Hawaii, and they don't charge taxes because they said on their website, they don't charge a flat fee. They charge the taxes because they said that you would end up in some areas, you may end up paying more in taxes than you would if you just paid the taxes that you should pay. So if you had a $20 plan and 5 of that was in taxes, but here in Ohio, we would only pay $23 instead of $25, we'd pay $2 additional dollars or something like that. It made sense. We probably can't see that when you hold that up.
Let me zoom it.
Let me see. Hang on. Let me see what I could do to make that.
Is it upside down or backwards?
No,
No,
that's right.
That's
That's
right.
correct.
I just can't. There we
There you
go.
go.
There you go. Yeah.
2714.
Yep.
Bottom
2714. Bottom line.
And there's no contract. You can drop at any time.
Pretty good deal.
Like I said, I think my SIM fee with card was maybe $5. It's a one-time charge. I get $1.25 off a month because I'm an ARP member.
There you go.
So with, yeah, taxes and everything, 2714. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
And I've never had drop calls or any, it's always been solid.
Good.
Now, my friend Greg, he doesn't text, he doesn't have a computer. He pays $15 a month. Well, he doesn't have data or anything. He could text, but he doesn't. It's $15 a month.
So it's $15 a month if you don't text and use data,
Yeah, just for calls.
just for calls. And that includes long distance telephone calls.
Yeah, any the phone call you want to make.
Got it. Okay.
Apparently, Ryan Reynolds is an owner.
I thought he was. He does the commercials and he's an owner.
Apparently
Yeah,
he
it's
is.
like 25% owner or something like that. Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
I'm not only a user, but I'm an owner.
Well, it's kind of interesting. It looks like it's an independent company. David Glickman was the founder, and Rise when somebody is a managing partner.
You can get on their newsletter. I know that. I may do that just to. I want to let you try it and give me a full report after a while. I may switch over. Because I almost went with them.
Well, everything I hear about them, seems like it's all right. So,
And Clark Howard, I kind of trust him. So if he gives it a pretty good review, that's, I'm pretty on board right there. He's the consumer guy out of Atlanta, Georgia.
yeah. I used to listen to Clark Howard a lot when I was in Atlanta.
Yeah, he's on WHIO 1290 or 95.7 on the FM. Part of Cox Media.
That's interesting.
But like the Poobah said, you're getting pretty reasonable prices for pretty good coverage and some data,
So Art, do you have any fires out there
Out where?
in California?
I have no idea.
You're
I've
not-
been in California for 4 months.
Wow.
Art's planted himself in Ohio for a while.
I am, actually, it's not quite 4 months. We've been here since the 11th of November. So that's, I guess, coming up on 3 months.
Yeah.
Well, they've had enough snow and rain out there. If there's still fires, I'd be
No, I think that the fire problem has gone away. I think the problem that they have now is
mudslides.
mudslides and so forth and so on in those areas that have been burnt off.
No good vegetation holding that ground.
Yeah, well, and there's There's lots of mountains there. They have real mountains there, not what you have here east of
Yeah,
the
little hills.
Yeah,
That we call mountains.
no. Yeah.
They say Cincinnati was built on 7, well, hills, but yeah, they're really hills and not mountains.
Well, it's kind of like Rome.
Yeah,
Yeah, same as Rome.
yeah.
But in any case, no, I think that the fire problem has gone away. We haven't caught up on rainfall yet, but they've got a good snow pack in the Sierras. And that's really what determines our water for the summertime is the rain that falls in where I live in Fremont or in San Francisco or in San Jose or whatever, just runs off. But what our water reservoir is really the snowpack in the Sierras, and the snowpack's in pretty good shape right now. The reservoirs are low, but the snowpack is in pretty good shape.
Okay.
So no, no, we've been here for a while, and we're probably going to be here for a while. It's at this point, it's up in the air. We aren't ticketed yet to go back, and we probably won't ticket until sometime in February or March. We'll see.
Okay. My brother flew out to Los Angeles, and he said he ran into like 2 or 3 days nothing but rain out there. So that's kind of rare. So yeah.
It rains in November in Los Angeles. That's their rainy time.
Yeah, well, generally November through February, sometime in there. The rest of the year, except for where there's mountains, the state's basically a desert. So
I used to live by the Saddleback Mountains. Yeah, out there in Los Angeles. Yeah, it was in Santa Ana. Yeah, we've been through that stuff. Well, my dinner's burning. Google didn't get it right, so I'm going to have to leave you go.
So Google burned your dinner?
Well, I'm blaming it on Google. It can't tell time, you know. I says, let me know in 25 minutes are up, and I think it might not, but I can smell it. Smell it burnt. Gotta go.
Bye,
All right.
Kenny.
Bye.
Take care, Ken. Take care.
Okay. Take care.
Take care.
Let's see. We did. Boom. Leaving.
No Steve tonight.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe he's at Midpoint Library wondering where
the heck everybody is. Yeah, I know he's starting that new job or into that new job.
Well, he's been in that job, I guess, now for what, a month or more.
Yeah, a month or more. Yeah. He's still consulting with the law firm though, for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I thought he started with
Siemens. Yeah.
Siemens right after Thanksgiving.
Something like that. Yeah, right after Thanksgiving. But they still want him to stay at the law office to tide things over and I guess transition on his own schedule, you know.
So Leroy, you're looking a little peaked there.
I'm feeling it.
You look kind of drained.
I'm feeling it.
Haven't seen Vicente tonight either.
No.
You don't think you have COVID, do you?
I think I have the flu, but
Okay.
without getting a test, who knows what I have?
You said you're going for the test shortly, right?
Yeah, we're going to try to get there tomorrow.
Where are you gonna go get tested?
There's a church down on Tylersville Road that apparently has the tests.
I know Crossroads in Mason does. They're all-
That's the one. That's the
Yeah.
one.
Got a big parking lot, and a lot of people. They
That's
move you through.
that's down there on Tylersville and 741, right?
No, it's on Reading Road there, right?
Reading Road. Then it's not where I thought it was. Okay, I'll find it.
Across from Harbor Freight, guys.
It's right near, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's
So-
up the road. It's a little up the road from Harbor Freight on the right, on the other side of the road. You're real close to Harbor Freight.
Well, what's that big building that's on the corner of Tylersville and I always thought that was that church.
There's a Nazarene church.
Okay,
there, right next
maybe
to Kohl's.
that's the church that I
They're
was
not-
thinking of.
I don't think they're having, in fact, my friend Ray died the other day and his funeral is there on Saturday. I don't think they're having tests there, but it's Crossroads is very close to there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's where Jim told me about was Crossroads.
If you would go past the Nazarene Church and turn on Snyder Road,
Yeah.
turn right off of Snyder onto 42 and go a few feet down the road, there's where Crossroads is.
Okay. Well, I don't know why I thought it was on Tylersville then.
That's very close. You're in the neighborhood.
Well, I would have found it.
They're doing it at Oakley. They're doing it at the Oakley Crossroads, the West Side Crossroads on Bridgetown Road, and the Mason Crossroads.
You know which tests they're doing?
They're doing a COVID test. I don't know.
No. There's a whole jillion different COVID
Oh,
tests.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the name of the test is, but it's run by Hamilton County and Butler, Warren County.
The most accurate is PCR, but
Okay.
it takes a little longer. The one that's, you get a result in about 15 minutes or so, doesn't have quite the accuracy, has more false positives than false negatives and so forth. But the PCR is pretty solid. But I think that takes 24 hours or
Okay.
48 hours or whatever.
Yeah, all those three places have really big parking lots, so they can really direct the flow and get you. I mean, it's a good place to have tests.
Drive through, this is you not get out and go to the building, basically.
So you drive through and they have tents set up and they have health workers come up and give you the test and you sit in your car. The building is open, the lobby is open if you have to go to the bathroom and stuff, but the tests are conducted in the parking lot.
Can you get your results right away or what?
It depends on the test, like you said, I would imagine. I don't know, like you say, if one's a 24-hour notice or the other one within a few minutes. I don't know that. I haven't been tested yet. You got that hacking cough that I had when I had COVID.
Yeah,
Felt very bronchial.
I have I get the same cough though when I have the flu, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't if I've got it, then it's the Omicron and it's not kicking me in the butt. It's just making me groggy and drowsy and
Brain fog and stuff.
my fever has been pretty consistent around 99 to 101 and it hasn't broken yet. So,
My sister had the 2 shots and she did get boosted in time. She ended up getting Omicron and she thought she got the Delta COVID, but it kicked her ass, but not as bad as mine got for the first COVID.
yeah. See, I feel bad, but I don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt really bad, really puny for 2.5 weeks, but I never felt like I had to go to the hospital or anything. It was just very low energy, sleeping a lot,
Yeah.
fever, aches, cough.
See, I'm right there because that's
No,
all I really want to do is go to sleep.
no out. You just stay hydrated. You don't want to eat much.
Yeah.
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 So you staying away from the grandkids there, Leroy?
Unfortunately, I am not. Her daddy still is bringing her over here. There's not a whole lot we can do about it because he has to work, so he has to make money to take care of her.
Some kid that came back from Mexico and California. I can't remember what they called it. He had COVID and influenza at the same time.
Yeah, that's a combination. There's a few cases of that. Fortunately, not very many.
No, very infrequent, but it is out there.
But it looks like Miami, Los Angeles, and various hot spots where it's really hot.
But the Omicron,
Yeah, in southern Arizona there also.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, that dark red spot there to the east is over in Arizona.
There.
Yeah, that's Arizona.
Okay. But other than that, it looks like it's
There's a little dot up near Ohio, but not that big of a dot.
yeah,
Pittsburgh.
it's not terrible.
And Cincinnati's right here.
Well,
Pittsburgh has a bigger, darker color than Cincy does.
if everybody gets this Omicron, then maybe it will be over.
Look at Chicago there. Chicago's got red. Yeah, I mean, it's going to run out of host if everyone gets exposed with this Omicron. So it'll go up like this and it'll plummet after a while. Because if everyone's got it, but like you said, in a way, this could be a blessing in a way.
Well,
It's exposed and not dead, not killed.
yeah.
So what's going on there in Nebraska? All
It's
right, we'll
gray
do,
up there. What's its
we'll
gray?
do a little test there. Does anybody know where Nebraska is?
Oh, I know.
Where is it?
It's
There's North Dakota.
No, Nebraska is the black area.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, yeah, right there. And there's over here, there's black area. It looks like under Utah to Utah.
would that be areas that haven't reported?
Yeah, probably they don't report by county or something.
They don't have the data for it. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do it by county.
What does the legend say? Does it?
There's no black. It's
There's no black. It's not on the legend anywhere.
yeah. So they. I
Yeah,
mean,
like I said, they may not report it by.
it's not reported the way they need the data or whatever.
Yeah, like we looked at deaths, and Florida didn't report deaths by county. So it was all black. So that's what it means.
So everybody was dead in Florida. It's all black.
Yeah. It's death and destruction, yeah.
Yeah, my dad is going to be 83 and he's just holding up because he's been vaccinated, but he doesn't want to get the Omicron. So does very little, walks with his dog in the morning, doesn't go to the Y, goes to Kroger very infrequently. Stays in his cottage over there at Westover.
Yeah.
It went from dark. You got LED changing there.
Yeah, what's going on there, Jim? Your background changes from pink to tan to,
Oh, it's the TV,
Oh, it's the TV.
the light from the TV, yeah.
Okay. Got
oh,
really
okay.
bright there, and then it got dark, and then like tan. Binax now. That's when they're showing.
That's a lightning coming out of Gail's eyes.
Oh, is that right?
You can't hear the crackling, but yeah.
Well, Leroy, you may have the flu, but you could have COVID too. So I can tell you definitely got something because you don't look right.
Yeah, you're looking kind of peaked there, Leroy, with all due respect.
Well, I can tell. I think my fever's gone back up again. I'm starting to get chills, which
All
is
right. Well,
usually a sign.
We better shut it down, let Leroy get
Yeah, I think that would be prudent.
All right. Well,
Now you know where to go.
yeah,
Close
it's not
to
where
where
I thought, but it's close. It's close
close to
enough.
where you thought. Think
Yeah.
of Harbor Freight and go a little bit up the road on the other side. And that's Crossroads.
All right. I will talk to you all next week.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay, you take care of yourself there, Leroy.
See you, Leroy.
See
Yeah.
you guys.
Take care. Bye now.
Bye.